You're watching Pulse for the 5th of March, and it's once again time for some World of Warcraft news. In this week's episode, we drool a little over the upcoming Mists of Pandaria press tour, we take a look at the latest Dev Watercooler post, this one on the Mists of Pandaria stat changes, and more. Yes, slightly less news this time around, but I think the influx that's soon to come will definitely make up for it. Let's get to it. First up, the guys and girls from MMO Champion thought it about time to remind us of the upcoming Mists of Pandaria press tour. The press event is actually happening very soon, from March the 13th till the 15th, and hopefully it's going to bring us tons of interesting Mists of Pandaria information and content. The NDA for the event is going to be lifted on the 19th of March, and knowing how passionate the people visiting Blizzard are about this kind of thing, I think we'll have our news the second the NDA lifts. I don't know about you guys, but I've got a pretty long list of things that I want to see. I want to see more gameplay, I want to see more of the monk in action, I want to see what's happening with the hunter class. You know, with bows becoming a primary weapon, and I guess there's a lot of other stuff that I'm looking forward to as well. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that the press tour itself is not the only thing to be excited about. We might well see the alpha or beta of the game start up soon after it. Now, this is obviously not official information or anything like that, it's more just a hunch based on what Blizzard usually does. So while this isn't really news or anything new, I just thought it was something that you guys and girls would like to know. So keep checking back here soon for that Mists of Pandaria coverage, and until then, happy waiting for that press tour. Next up, the only real piece of news in this episode, Greg Ghostcrawler Street, the lead systems designer for World of Warcraft, is back with yet another blog post. This latest Dev Watercooler or Coffee with the Devs focuses on the stat changes we're going to be exposed to come Mists of Pandaria. First of all, Ghostcrawler just warns us that none of this is set in stone, it's all subject to change, and that's how it usually is with these posts. Then I will just warn you that this is actually more like reading a set of patch notes than an actual blog post. It has a lot of statistics, a lot of numbers, and a lot of stuff that you usually wouldn't be exposed to. So if you like knowing what's going on behind the scenes, then this is definitely one for you. Otherwise, you might want to steer clear of actually reading it. That said, if you do plan on steering clear, then I can just give you a couple of the big things mentioned here. Spell resistance is gone, there are no buffs that improve it, and there shouldn't be much, if any, spell resist gear left. Blizzard think that having stats that can be capped is good game design. Rather than focusing solely on stacking your best stat, you have to decide how valuable it is to hit your target before you go back to stacking your best stat. Hit and spell hit will no longer be separate stats. The hit stat negates melee miss and spell miss. All spells and abilities will crit for double damage. Baseline. There are a few exceptions where crits can get larger, but the default is ×2 for everyone. Resilience is being renamed to Defense, with PvP in brackets, or possibly PvP Defense. All players will have 30% base defense, the same way all characters have some base stamina. PvP gear will be lower in item level than PvE gear of an equivalent tier. However, the power and defense stats will make sure that PvP gear is more powerful in PvP, both offensively and defensively, than PvE gear. Lastly, chance to block will be handled by a separate combat roll for each attack that's not avoided. In other words, they first determine if an attack misses or is dodged or parried. If it's not, then the attack has a chance to be blocked. I would say that's about it, but there's an extremely long list of stuff that you can have a look at. I just took a few interesting ones and mentioned them here, so if any of these tickled your fancy, you'd best check the full post out for yourself. The stat changes in Mists of Pandaria are definitely a big deal, and it's something we're going to have to get used to, but I think it's all for the better. So you can let me know what you think about all these changes, check the full post up below, and with that done, let's move on to the World of Warcraft smalls. First up, have a look at the latest War College post, this one about the Isle of Conquest. Check out some new World of Warcraft fan art. Have a look at the latest community news post for the 2nd of March. The World of Warcraft Iron Man challenge has been completed. There's yet another transmogrification guide up over at Wowhead, this one for quest and dungeon armor. Read some statistics over at MMO Champion about Thoridal, the Star's Fury. The latest daily blink is up for your viewing pleasure, this one titled World of Warcraft is Saving the World. The guys and girls from manaflask.com have Project 60 up and running. Check it out if you want to go old school with them. Have a look at WoW Insider's weekly news update for March the 2nd. Check out Tinkle's Misadventures Episode 1, The Beginning. And lastly, also right here on YouTube, have a look at the latest weekly Marmot, this one focusing on Mists of Pandaria stat changes. Sadly, that's all I have for you in the news this week. If you haven't had quite enough just yet, you can find some extra blue posts linked below. Check back here soon for more, like the video and do all that other good stuff, and most importantly, happy waiting for that press tour.